Hello, this is Ron Saboya, and I'm the Managing Partner of Stratus Innovations Group, and welcome to our Microsoft Office 365 demo series. And today we're going to talk about using SharePoint Online as a file store. So if you've used SharePoint or SharePoint Online before, you know it's probably the most highly utilized workload of SharePoint Online is a document repository, is a shared documents folder, a central repository where a team collaborating on projects or collaborating on any aspect of it can store their documents in this central location. And traditionally the way you utilize that is you go into SharePoint and you go into the browser user interface for SharePoint, and you can upload one or more files into your SharePoint environment. You could create the file or the document directly within SharePoint and save it to SharePoint, or if the document is already into the document library, you can double click on the document and open the document to view it. You can click the arrow on the document name and you can edit the document. But again, all of this is being done directly in the user interface or directly in SharePoint itself. What we're going to show you today is an interesting piece of technology that they put in SharePoint Online. The intent was to integrate directly into Microsoft Office, so you can save documents out of Office documents from the Office applications directly to SharePoint without having to go into the SharePoint interface, and also open those same documents from that. And that's been around in SharePoint for a while, and they've added that in SharePoint Online. But essentially what this does is it doesn't make the change to the Office documents. It makes changes to, and we were able to find some interesting changes we can make within Windows Explorer. And once you do that, any application that utilizes Windows Explorer to open a file or save a file, you can open a file automatically from a SharePoint site and save a file directly to a SharePoint site. So what essentially that does is that gives you the capability to treat SharePoint as a cloud-based disk storage, a virtualized cloud-based disk storage, an infrastructure as a service storage mechanism, without even truly having to interact directly with SharePoint Online. And the other advantage is by utilizing SharePoint as that file storage mechanism, you get all of the other built-in functionality that comes with SharePoint from a electronic content management, electronic document management aspect. So you could put workflows to documents that you create or edit. You could put auditing, or you could put version history, or you could put a retention policy on it. Anything that you could do within SharePoint Online from a document perspective in terms of content management, you can do on any application, then utilizing SharePoint from a storage perspective, and that file that you store there, those properties and all that functionality, that content management functionality with SharePoint will automatically be applied to that. So let's show you how we can do that. So the thing you have to do is some general housekeeping. And what we're going to do is we're going to go into the customer portal, to the Home tab, and this would be the tab that all your users would go to when they go into the customer portal. And every computer that you have, every user you have, has to set this up one time. But again, it's only one time, and then they configure their desktop and they have this. So the piece that you have to do is this first one, which is set up your computer to work with Microsoft Office 365. You simply click Set Up Now, and then you scroll down to the bottom, and we want to set up and configure your desktop apps. And again, it says save files directly to SharePoint Online from your Office desktop apps, but the secret to this is it's not necessarily changes that are made to Office, it's changes that are made to Windows Explorer that get surfaced through Microsoft Office. But then any other application that utilizes Windows Explorer can do the same. So you simply click set up and a small little application launches, and the sole purpose of this application is just to do the configuration. It's pretty quick and there's not much that gets done. It comes up and says select the desktop or select the applications you want, and then you just simply click continue. At this point we're not going to do the click continue, because again it just you click continue and it comes back and says we're done. So we're going to go ahead and just click cancel at this point. Now the next piece of configuration that we want to do is within the document repository. Here's our team site, and we're in our document repository. So we're going to click on our, we just clicked on the shared documents. On the library tools, we're going to click on library. There's two pieces of functionality that we want to do directly from here to set this up. The first one is connect to Office. So you simply click on that arrow and then select add to SharePoint sites, and this says add shortcut to this library in Microsoft Office. So we're going to click on that, and you see the library already exists because we've already done that, but if you haven't, the first time you'll do it, it says it was added. And the second thing you want to do here is click on Open with Explorer. At this point, you see we've opened up Windows Explorer. We're in our shared documents folder. Here is that document just as it is over here. Now, the secret that we've kind of saw from this, something that we found that was pretty interesting, that gives all that advanced functionality, is this. What you want to do is go up to the title bar. Again, the title bar up here. On that folder that we are in, and again, this one is shared documents, and you see that from here. You go up to the shared documents. You go up to that folder level. You right mouse click and you do copy address. Now at this point here, and again we are in Windows Explorer, we're not in SharePoint, we're not in a browser, we're in Windows Explorer. We click on this SharePoint sites that got added when we did the configuration of the first step. We're simply going to add that shortcut. So we're just going to do paste shortcut. So now in Windows Explorer we simply have this shortcut. So now let me show you how we can use this. Let's go. I start with just a Word document. Again, we just open up this Word document, and I'm going to just create something. And at this point, I'm just going to do File, Save As, just as we do on any other document. And as you see, it opens up Windows Explorer. It's going to try to save it to my hard drive in my documents folder. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to select SharePoint sites, and this is that shortcut we just added. And as I'm going to save this directly to that shared document site. You see it up here again on the menu bar. We just simply click Save. So what we're doing is we are saving this out to our SharePoint site. Now what this is asking us is because if you were with us in our previous webinar, we set up a content type specifically for that, a custom content type specifically for that shared documents folder, that document library. But for this is just a general document, so I'm going to click Document and click OK and click Save. But again, what you're seeing is all of the key aspects and key functionality of SharePoint Online is being surfaced, or SharePoint itself is being surfaced through the Office application. And I haven't even touched or gone into the SharePoint environment or going into the SharePoint user interface, going into the browser into SharePoint. So let's go over here so you can see that file did make it up here. Let's do a refresh. And there's our Hello World application. So, and again, this was Office doing that. So let me show you another application that we can do the same sort of thing. And so you can see it's not just Office that's doing this. So let me take Paint. This is, Windows Paint. And I'm going to put a Picasso here. This is a beautiful painting. And I'm going to save this painting. I simply go, and this again, we are in Paint. I do File, Save As. It's trying to, where do you want to save this? Again, I'm in Windows Explorer. Click on that. Click on the shortcut. And again, I'm in my team site. I'm going to call it My Paintings and just click Save. Let's give that up. And so if we go back over to our team site, in our shared documents, hit refresh, and lo and behold, my painting's there as well. So one other piece I want to show you. So you may say, okay, that was a Microsoft document or a Microsoft application within Windows. I'm going to bring up this. This is a application that I've installed. It's an ebook management. It simply takes a Word document or a PDF and converts it to a e-reader format document. So you can put it on an e-reader, a Nook, or a Kindle, or anything of that nature. So what I'm going to do is go in here, and I'm going to, and again, this is not a Windows app or a Microsoft application. I'm simply going to save this to disk, and it's going to bring up Windows Explorer. I'm going to click on the SharePoint sites again, click on the Shared Documents folder, Shared Documents shortcut, and again, I'm in my team site. I'm going to select that folder. I'm going to say I'm selecting that folder, and this application, which has absolutely no knowledge whatsoever of SharePoint, is in the process of saving and creating not only the file, but it creates a file structure, a folder structure within there. So as you can see, this were the two documents I added, and you'll see this folder that it put up there. You can also see this in, so if we go to our shared documents, if we hit refresh, and lo and behold, here is this folder, and here's my ebook that I created from that aspect of it. So as you can see, what I've done is utilize SharePoint as a cloud-based storage system and put all of the functionality with that would go with a document in SharePoint. So auditing and revisions and retention policies and document properties and workflows can all get associated with this document, any document that I create, without even having to interact with SharePoint from that aspect of it. So that concludes our presentation on how to use SharePoint as essentially an infrastructure as a service cloud-based storage model. And in terms of next steps, I encourage you to watch our other webinars. We have webinars on the introduction to cloud computing, cloud security. We have cloud in terms of the business value and the economies of scale of cloud computing, but also we have other tutorials on Microsoft Office 365. Also, in terms of next steps, if this is something you're interested in, we'd love to help you set up a 30-day no-cost, no-risk pilot where we can easily get this set up for you and you can trial this in your environment. We also have a service offering called Cloud Assessments that allows you to essentially, before you dive into the technology, we work with you. It's a very short engagement to say, is the cloud right for me, and if so, which workloads? It could be right. We look at it from both a technical perspective and also a financial perspective. This may be the greatest technology in the world, but is it what does that look like in terms of what your existing cost model looks like, but also in terms of what additional agility that it doesn't provide. So it's truly a value-based assessment. So if you're interested in any of this, here's our contact information. We'd love to help you on your journey to the cloud and help you bring the power of the cloud to you. So thank you again for your time. We hope you enjoyed this webinar, and we look forward to seeing you on any of our future webinars. Thanks, and have a great day.